Hello and welcome to First Impressions. This is a show where my co-host Dash Hooper and I evaluate a new album each week, one that we've never heard, and after playing it, we take notes, rate it in a variety of categories, and come right back here to let you know our thoughts. And the album we're going to be looking at tonight is Strays, the 2003 album by Jane's Addiction. So Dash, how are you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm very good. I'm just hoping that we can get through the rest of the week.
Yeah. Yeah, the stupid time change, and now it's
Yeah.
all dark. And yes, I'm trying to survive the week too, because
Yeah.
yeah, it's been we went to our anniversary trip, and we went to horror nights, and it's just like, all right, I decided I don't need to any more
Sleep.
sleep to function. Sleep's overrated. Fun is better, so that's what I've been
Uh,
doing.
yeah.
All right.
The girls got up. What was it? Sunday morning at like 6 o'clock because they're used to like the time. They're not used to the time change still. And I was like, oh my god, go back to bed. Yeah, it was a long Sunday.
Yeah, they happen. So all right, so we have our, let me see, the comments are coming all weird, but we have our tribute to Ozzy. You can get that in there. It's
Hey.
on Fund My Comic. I ordered mine. I have the wraparound cover, so I'm excited to get that. And yeah, definitely hit that link up, get the book, get your tribute to Ozzy. We did our kind of mini Ozzy tribute on Saturday Morning Comic Talk, so definitely check it out. You got to love Ozzy. I mean, wherever you stand, even if you love him for being a, goofball reality show guy, he's got a legacy that even your mom could love. So there you
And
go.
I
Check it out.
Pops, is it still on Amazon?
Yeah, that's a good question. So Pops, is it still on Amazon? If it is, just drop it in the chat. It's a great looking book. Dash has
Yeah.
his. Mine is on the way. I have my wraparound cover that I ordered
Dude,
on
I'm
Fund
telling
My Comic, so I'm pumped up for that.
the art. I mean, I don't know if you can look at just some of the art in there. It's
Yeah.
fantastic. I don't want to give away too much. Yeah, it's on Amazon. Go purchase Amazon. You got the links to the wraparound cover. It's fantastic as well. Go check it
Mm-hmm.
out. Not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
definitely do. And now let's dig in to the history of the band. And yes, he says it is. And then we have comments coming in. So let me see. This is from
Mark
Lark Bark.
Mark Bark.
So looking forward to this. One of his favorite bands. So Jane's Addiction rocks. Yes, hopefully we don't get caught, because that was one of my live recordings of Jane's Addiction that opened up the show. I have lots of them actually, but we'll talk about that when we hit our history. Never the full band. I don't think I ever have the original lineup in its entirety recorded. I have pieces, but never everything. So yeah, let's dig in with. Let me get rid of that comment. Sorry, I'm on my wife's computer. It is smaller than mine, so my squintiness is going to be even worse tonight. But that's all right. I will battle through. I'll make it happen.
Always.
So let's start with our history of the artist. And then the Amazon is in that link as well. Sorry. Then we'll get off Ozzy. Go buy the book. And then you can have your own copy. But now we are about to talk about the history of Jane's Addiction with as always, half-ass internet research. Although this time I did listen to multiple podcasts. Bandsplain is my go-to podcast. I don't know if you guys listen to it. We have no affiliation, but I will always pump it up. It's Yasi Salik, and she does the deepest dive into these bands, going into, childhood of Perry Farrell and everything. So she gets the deep stuff. I listened to her podcast and grabbed up some bits and pieces. But Jane's Addiction was formed in 1985 in Los Angeles. And this is grimy, hooker-ridden Los Angeles, not, the polished version we get now that, let's let the tourists see. It's like, that's the one where the tourists might have got stabbed when they walked in. Old school, dirty Los Angeles. And Perry Farrell's first band, Psycom, he left that band and teamed up with bassist Eric Avery, drummer Stephen Perkins, and later guitarist Dave Navarro to form the core of Jane's Addiction. So their sound, it blended punk, hardcore, psychedelic, goth, funk, all kinds of eclectic styles, all brought together into this early alternative rock. And Perry Farrell is not one to hold back on bragging about himself. He says, oh, I invented alternative rock. It wasn't Nirvana. So he loves to be looking at himself as the root of all that's great in alternative rock. But really, they were doing that in the 80s. Like Been Caught Stealing, that song came out before Nevermind. And yeah, they really did kind of change alternative rock. But the real thing that changed everything was Nirvana. But Jane's Addiction was there doing it before Nirvana. So they were a huge fixture of the LA club scene. They signed to Warner Brothers after initially releasing a live album. So they released a live album on the Triple X label. Warner Brothers heard it. They signed them. Some of those songs were covers. And then some of the songs, I think several of the songs ended up on some of their albums. So they had hits. Jane Says, I mean, shoot, I think somewhere out there right now, no, absolutely. I will guarantee somewhere out there right now, there's an alternative rock station playing Jane Says, probably about 50 of them in California playing Jane Says right now, because that song is a fixture of the radio. It's one of those ones. It's part of alternative radio. It's
probably one of their greatest hits anyway. I mean, it's one of their very first hits as far as
their first
mainstream.
Been Caught Stealing, and it created this early 90s alternative rock before Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, Smashing Pumpkins. Jane's Addiction was there. In fact, it was some members of Pearl Jam went to a Jane's Addiction show and thought, this is what we want to do. And I think it was the other members saw them and thought, this is bullshit. They don't want to do it. So they formed, I think it's Husker Du. Don't quote me on that. I'm not going to say anything definitively, but Pearl Jam was influenced by Jane's Addiction, and Perry Farrell formed Lollapalooza in 1991, co-founded it, and this became the alternative festival. This is before Coachella, before any of these festivals. Lollapalooza was kind of the alternative, and so
it was
so Husker Du. So there we go. I believed it because like I said, I listened to a lot of podcasts, but I was listening to them when I was on my run, so I wasn't able to take extensive notes. I just was kind of going through it. So so Husker Du was the one, and Perry Farrell created Lollapalooza, and that brought in to prominence. You saw bands like Nine Inch Nails, you saw bands like Butthole Surfers getting their first chance on the big stage. Body Count with Ice-T. So it was this huge thing, and that's what I remember in high school. 91, I guess I would have been a sophomore, and the buzz was Lollapalooza, because buzz was Lollapalooza until Metallica played it, and then everybody hated it. So it's disappeared. It still exists, but now, I mean, if you look at Lollapalooza, you can stream it on YouTube. It is just a pop fest. It's kind of like Coachella. It has become whitewashed and boring, and once in a while you get a good band that's on there, but it's become pretty tired. So Ministry got signed by Warner Brothers as well, because they were originally underground stuff. But that was when the major labels were just trying to grab everything. They all wanted the next Nirvana. They were just trying to clamor for that band that was going to make them big.
All the festivals are meaningless now. All the festivals.
Yeah. There's one in Vegas that is damn good, and I wished I could have gone to it. It was the Best Friends Forever Festival, and it was absolutely stellar lineup. If you're into late 90s, early 2000s, post-hardcore emo, and not fucking bullshit emo. We're talking Sunny Day Real Estate and At the Drive-In and good stuff like that. And it was a spectacular lineup, but I was already taking off enough days from work to go to my anniversary trip, so I couldn't pull that one off. So do I remember the Horde Festival? I do. And I also remember that here's one for you. Once Perry Farrell left Lollapalooza, and he decided he still wanted to make a festival. So he made the Enid Festival,
Yep.
if you remember that. And the Enid Festival in California played the ski slopes of Big Bear. So it's like you had to go to Big Bear.
That's almost like lounge singing.
Yeah, it's like, all right, you're going to go play the ski slopes of Big Bear with a lot of like Orbital and these kind of rave culture bands, and then Porno for Pyros, because at that point, Jane's Addiction had broken up because they broke up in 1991. They've reunited multiple times, but the core four haven't reunited. They did for a minute, and I guess one of the reasons they broke up initially was that Perry Farrell thought that Steve Avery was hitting on his girlfriend, and that's why Steve Avery was absent for the majority of these reunions. The first reunion they did, they brought in Flea to play bass, and they've brought in multiple other players to play bass. It wasn't until just recently, I think it was 2023, that Avery was back on bass, but Dave Navarro was out with long-term COVID, so he wasn't there for that tour. And finally in 2024, they got the four of them back together, and the wheels fell off that bus quickly.
Just for a punch in the face.
Yeah, that one, it was September 13th, 2024 in Boston, where Perry Farrell lunged at Dave Navarro, shoulder bumped him, took a swing. Go on YouTube. It is literally everywhere. You can find footage of that. I mean, I think I was obsessively watching that for days because it was just crazy to see. And you could have done that in the 90s and no one would have seen it. You would have heard about it maybe on some music news websites or something like that, but it would have just been speculation. But this was everywhere. This filmed by multiple angles.
This made the evening news. This made the evening news channels. Literally.
Yeah, it was mainstream news, not just music news. And after that, Navarro, Avery, and Perkins filed a lawsuit against Perry Farrell for his behavior. And they said he was not only was he just doing that, he had been missing rehearsals, he'd been forgetting lyrics, mumbling rants, and honestly, I've seen a few Jane's Addiction shows where that happened before 2024. I've seen him lose his place in songs. I mean, I have document recordings of some pretty bad Jane's Addiction performances. And, you know, it's one of those things where I've seen it happen, so it's not surprise. And, you know, I hope Perry Farrell gets some help because he seems to be in a mess. So they said that they're suing him for $10 million, which... Does Perry Farrell have $10 million? I don't even know.
They're suing him for the earnings of what
they would have got, I guess. Yeah, the loss, damages from the loss in the tour.
Yeah,
and they were actually working on a new album. If you saw, I saw the 2023 show that they played in Hollywood, and they did play a few new songs and had talked about this new album, and they seem pretty good. I mean, they weren't groundbreaking, but considering there's this Strays album and then the one after this, which is, I think I made it 2 songs into it and gave up on that one. It's pretty damn rough. So
that was was that Cabinet of Curiosities, or was there something after that? I think
that was the last one. Yeah,
it was 09. Yeah, that's the 09 one.
Not spectacular.
No.
It's one I tried. I gave up. I've heard songs live because I did go to the tour of that one. They played actually right at the casino by my house. I love when bands play there because my mother-in-law always scores the free tickets because she gambles and I like it. So, you know.
Yeah, you're right, Lark. We were just backstage. We were just talking about Perry not looking well at all.
Yeah. So he's looking. All right. So let's see. Eric Avery doesn't get enough credit. I think when we dig into this album, Lark, the lack of Eric Avery, I think, definitely diminishes the album. You can feel his loss. And yeah, Perry Farrell was looking pretty rough. I actually got brought in recently when Porno for Pyros reunited. I was brought in to do a recording. They specifically hired me to bring in to do a recording of the show, and I got to go to this little small backstage one that they did where it was only, I think, 50 people. And we were up close and personal. And you're just like, Perry, you've had some rough years / rough plastic surgery. And yeah, he's not at his peak for certain.
Yeah.
All right. So we are getting lost in tangents, but he countersued them for years-long bullying campaigns, sabotaging his vocals, and turning their instruments loud so he couldn't hear himself sing. So it's a mess. It would take a small miracle to get them back together again. So he's saying he got no input about this breakup. But I'm thinking when you take a swing at your guitarist, you pretty much got some input. Like, you can't try to knock your guitarist out and think that the tour's going to plug along and all is going to be good.
Yep.
So, yeah, his wife chimed in. Perry Farrell's wife chimed in and said, oh, he's had mounting frustrations and the stage volume's been a huge thing. And Dave Navarro told Guitar Player this year in May that there's not a chance of ever playing again. And this was the least favorite gig of his career. Obviously, how many gigs did he get punched at? You have to wonder. And the band is forever destroyed. So I would say that is that for Jane's Addiction. It might be reformed in some capacity with Perry Farrell, since he is the founder. Right. He could play without any of the other members. So he could do kind of like Billy Corgan did with Smashing Pumpkins, where there were no actual members of the original band besides Billy Corgan for a stretch of time. And since it's his band, he can do his name. So yeah, Perry recently played at the Greek, and I was so tempted to get tickets for that show, but I did not go. So Lark, did you go to that one? Was it any good? I know it was at the Greek. I was seeing TV on the radio at the Greek. I saw the advertisements. It looked solid, but it was one of those things where it's like, I cannot see all the shows, only most of them. So I skipped it, but I'm wondering, how did he sound? Did he seem better off? Because hopefully he gets straight. Because yeah, when I saw him, even though he looked bad, the surgery and everything, he sounded good at the Porno for Pyro show. So yeah, I missed that one as well. I might know a friend who recorded it, so I'll see if I can hunt that one down and at least get a chance to hear it. So I'll kind of throw out the feelers to see if any of my taping friends got to that one, so yeah, we could hear it. If we did, I will drop a link in the comments on one of our later shows, and you can check it out for yourself. So, history of the band. It was messy. It's been multiple breakups. They get back together to break up again. I mean, it's not something that's surprising. This breakup, I mean, the punch was surprising, but who knows what was going on backstage when when they were breaking up first, second, third time. So it's one of those things I have to wonder. But yeah, it's definitely the ugliest that it's ever been in public. So they have had a rough stretch of ups and downs, and they did bring Lollapalooza back for one last stretch when this album came out, and I did go to that one. That was a good Lollapalooza. I think they had Incubus, Perfect Circle, the Donnas. It was a good lineup. I believe Queens of the Stone Age were on a few of the days, Mogwai, so it was worth seeing. But now let's talk about this album that did, for a small moment in time, bring touring Lollapalooza back. So Strays was released July 22nd, 2003, right in time for Lollapalooza. They actually did a huge press release in Hollywood at Amoeba Records. I actually went to that one, and they talked about bringing Lollapalooza back and the excitement that they had. They seemed kind of rejuvenated for a minute, even if it was without Eric Avery, but it was their first full-length album in 13 years. So they released Nothing Shocking, Ritual de lo Habitual, and then 13-year gap, they brought this back with Perry Farrell, Dave Navarro, Stephen Perkins, 3 of the original 4, and a new bassist, Chris Chaney, which, yeah, you'll definitely hear that. And I guess Eric Avery began recording for the album, but left halfway through. So already they couldn't keep together in a room. So who knows if we'd have ever seen this final Jane's Addiction album. There was even hinted collaborations with Jane's Addiction and Trent Reznor, where he was going to produce one of their albums. But I think it's just they can't be in the same room together very long until they want to kill each other. So it was produced by Bob Ezrin, who had worked with Alice Cooper and Pink Floyd, and took about a year to record. Its original title was going to be Hypersonic, which is one of the songs on the album, but they changed it to Strays. I guess they had different ideas for the cover art and went with this god-awful 90s pile of crap-looking cover with just the band staring in different directions. So yeah, not amazing cover. It did sell 500,000 copies in the US, was certified gold. And in 2003, that was not the easiest thing to do. That was hitting into Napster era where people were not buying albums, they were stealing them. So yeah, they kind of put it together. And William, how's it going today? So let's take a look at some reviews of the album. So Metacritic does have this one. It's new enough to have a Metacritic, and it's a 75 on Metacritic. So actually higher than Taylor Swift's album, the last one we covered. So it's got a higher score than the Taylor Swift album, but it was considered, the critics who liked it didn't glow. Oh, they weren't sending the glowing reviews. They were saying it was a good album, but not quite a return to form, that it was more modern sounding, and that it didn't have the kind of the edge that their earlier albums had. Pitchfork and their Dewey Decimals gave it a 5.8. So yeah, it didn't get the strongest reviews. Rolling Stone gave it 4 stars, like they give everything.
Yeah.
Rolling Stone just basically should have a 4-star stamp, because that's what they seem to give everything. That's, you know, aside from a handful of albums, it's rare to see an album, especially by a larger artist like Jane's Addiction. They're just going to stamp it with that 75. And Guardian said that Guardian gave it a glowing review, said that it was a miraculous comeback album. Album of the year, thought it was a fun record that stuck to their roots. And then State Press said it's a decent listen, but don't expect a classic. So it reached number 4 on the chart. So it did on the rock chart. So it did debut strong. I think it sold over 100,000 in its first week. And it's looked at as a strong comeback, because their next album, the reviews on that are just abysmal. That's generally regarded as garbage by everyone who reviewed it. So
I think it was Cabinet. I still think it was Cabinet of Curiosities. That was the one of their works.
Yeah, that was their later one. The latest. I don't think we'll get a newer one, but the criticisms kind of grumbled about its polish. And I mean, I guess we'll wait for our own feelings on that, but let's move into our history. So what's your history with Jane's Addiction?
Well, like we talked about, you in high school, and mine was the same. Grew up listening. Now this was back in the time where you bought the singles or the singles and things like that. So you didn't always purchase, because I liked, Jane Says was one of my favorite songs. Been Caught Stealing, 3 Days, all those great songs. And then kind of once I joined the military after that, you just kind of, they're breaking up right around the same time I'm joining the military. So it wasn't until I was darn near, I had not listened to Strays.
Okay.
Until now. This was the first time I had listened to Strays. I had heard, but like I said, by the time I'm getting out of the military, they're finally deciding they want to join the flow and get back together. And that was 2009. And like you said, I think I listened to a couple songs of that, and I was done. I wasn't going to listen to any more of the album.
Yeah.
But early Jane's Addiction, late 80s, early 90s was, it was great. It was at every high school, you know, get together we had. We're listening to Jane's Addiction, or
Hmm.
um, things like that. So that's my, and obviously getting with, introducing my family with, when we were talking backstage with
Hmm.
Dave Navarro being on Inked,
Hmm.
and then introducing more of the older Jane's Addiction to my family. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty. I mean, this is the, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, I love Jane's Addiction, but this is the first album I've listened to all the way through. So I will now go back and pick up Ritual, and pick up the original Jane's, the self-titled Jane's Addiction and things like that. So I
Yeah.
will pick up those albums. I have the CDs, but again,
Yeah.
I only listen to certain songs. But I will go
Yeah.
pick up the albums, because now I just need to have them in the collection.
Yeah. I think for mine, I started to notice them in high school, especially during the Lollapalooza time, when people were telling me, "Oh my gosh, Jane's Addiction, you got to hear them," and you knew "Been Caught Stealing." I mean, it was
Yeah.
a staple on MTV. I remember Perry Farrell with the pantyhose over his face and all that stuff. So it's like you can't help but think about that video when you think about the song. So I knew them. I had their first two albums. I think they were Columbia House acquisitions. One day I'll pay for those Columbia House. Don't sue me. Um, so yeah, I think I got them through
They're
that.
still
I
waiting for their
know.
penny.
Yeah, I used that penny well. I never bought my like 4 albums at full price you were supposed to buy later on. My dog never bought their 4 albums that
Oh
they were
yeah,
supposed to buy. I mean, I found all the names in my house, and we all were members of Columbia House. My CD collection was fat, and
yeah.
people just, yeah, don't complain about the price of CDs. Learn to grift. That's the way to build a CD collection. So
Word.
I think next week's one I even own on CD somewhere. I don't know if I've even broken the seal on it, so I got to go in the garage and check, and we'll see if it's a Columbia House acquisition as well. But
That's
yeah,
fantastic.
I had all of their first. I had the first 2 albums. Listened to them a lot. Loved those ones, and they just kind of brought that. They had that feeling of, kind of like I said, that like that dirty, dangerous LA,
Hmm.
and they were just 2 of my favorites. That's why when the first one, Strays wasn't going to be what we were going to cover. I think you wanted to cover Ritual,
Yeah, I wanted
and
to
I
cover
said
Ritual.
I
Yeah.
I know that one too well, so it won't work. But yeah, that is a great album. So yeah, yeah, first 2 albums are your favorite. What we think about this one, we'll save it.
Yeah, we'll see.
But yeah, I definitely overlooked this one as well when it came out. I think I knew the single, the Just Because, but didn't really buy it. By that point, couldn't grift Columbia House for free CDs anymore. So I knew the singles, and that was about it. Because 2003, I guess I could have Napstered it, but I crashed 2 computers by Napstering stuff. So I became very cautious. I freaking wrecked. So I think I've killed at least 3 computers with either Pirate Bay or Napster. So yeah, I'm the one that always downloads the virus. So I never downloaded this one.
That's fantastic. Yeah, yeah. That's why I did Pirate Bay a couple of times. I'll never.
Yeah. You know what? It was Columbia House getting their revenge. They're like,
Yeah.
motherfucker, take this. We're going to virus yours. Like, we recognize that name and your dog's name. We're going to take you down. So you have to buy a computer. So I guess it ended up being more expensive than just buying the 5 CDs at regular price. And always using the return to sender, because every time I'd end up getting their CD of the month, return to sender, off it goes, send it back. So yes, we're giving you a how to grift Columbia House and BMG, since they're now defunct and they sent me viruses through Pirate Bay. We can't get busted anymore. Statute of limitations. It's got to be that.
It is.
Statute of
Absolutely.
limitations saves me from Columbia House coming and knocking on my door with a summons to court. All right. So, what are your thoughts about this album overall?
All right. I'll preface this with I liked it. I did
Okay.
like it, but there's a huge but in this overall thought. This definitely is not Ritual, and this is definitely not Jane's Addiction. It's this is like 1983, 84 MTV.
Yeah.
Before we started getting alternative rock and things
Mm-hmm.
of that nature. That's what it felt like, but I liked it. And
Mm-hmm.
um, there at times though, what I noticed about this compared to other songs, like let's just take Jane. I got Jane Says popped open, even though we're not using lyrics from this one tonight, but
Yeah.
Jane, let's just look at some of the lyrics. I mean, if you go into it, Jane says, "I'm done with Sergio. He treats me like a rag doll. She hides the television. Said I don't even owe him nothing." And then you go to some of the lyrics from this one, and I'm not going to give away too much, but the lyrics just seem you like. Let's one of my favorite songs, mind you, by the way, on this superhero is "Boom." Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
There's a huge difference in the lyrics from previous to I feel like the lyrics were a lot more thought out, a lot more. You had a lot more hooks with
Yeah.
what Jane Says, and you had a lot more hooks with Ben Caught Stealing. I mean, like you said, Ben Caught Stealing was on MTV almost every day.
Mm-hmm.
um so that's the difference I see in this album from the some of their original albums. Like I said, I never heard why I wanted to do uh Ritual was because I only knew a few songs off there, and I wanted to get the full vibe from it. So
Mm-hmm.
Ed said he went, and so I'm gonna go listen to it again. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Well worth it.
Jane Says is a beautiful and brilliant song, and it is.
It is.
But that's what I feel is missing from this album, and even um, it just feels. How do I put it? It just doesn't have punch
Yeah.
at times. You want your songs to have a punch in the face and the gut, and
Yeah.
Perry was just, I don't want to say half-assed, but he wasn't Perry, and it didn't feel like
Yeah.
Perry in this album. Though
Yeah.
he does sing good in some of the songs. It just wasn't. It just didn't feel. But again, the melodies I thought overall were really good, except for, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, and well, I'll save that for the another one.
Yeah.
But
Save it for our
yeah,
next part.
so but overall, I
So
liked it, but it could have been better, and
yeah.
it really, really could have been better.
Yeah. So for me, I said it felt like paint by numbers, Jane's Addiction. They had all the pieces and all the components of a great album, but just hollow and lacking that punch. And I think
Absolutely.
the autobiographical punch that Perry brought, like Jane Says, she's real. There is a
Yeah,
Jane.
there is a Jane.
All of these things were really happening, and he was just bringing his wild life into these lyrics, into these songs. And this one, I guess it's just kind of happy zen Perry, so we're not getting that gritty dirtiness. So
Yeah.
I said it felt to me like they took old Jane's Addiction and sent them through a power washer, and they
Yeah,
forgot that what made them good was the grime.
yeah.
So
This was, yeah,
it's
it's spiritual, but
not deep.
not deep. Yeah, 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 yeah.
It's spiritual as a puddle. It's like, all right, you're as deep as a puddle in my lawn, and
Yeah.
it's not great, but it's not horrible. Like you said, the musicianship, it's still got, I mean, Dave Navarro is still spectacular,
Oh yeah.
and Perkins is still spectacular, so it saves it from being a complete waste of time. Or even Jane's Addiction at their most mediocre are still better than a lot of bands that were popping stuff out in 2003. So I mean, we're talking the Limp Bizkit, Korn years. So yeah, it's definitely better than that. So yeah, Jane's Addiction, K-Rock. I know I listened to K-Rock when I was younger, when I could get it. I lived kind of in the Inland Empire area, so it would be when you could pick it up. If you're driving, we would get it, and they were all about Jane's Addiction. They kind of left their format, because for a while they were just playing Morrissey and the Smiths and the Cure, sticking with a lot of the British stuff. And then Jane's Addiction kind of rejuvenated the station and brought that on, and they were huge on K-Rock. So yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Lark. And then yeah, it lacked an authentic edge. Yeah, it was just too polished.
Yeah, he says, go ahead.
Yeah, it's just too polished for what you want. When you want Jane's Addiction, you want that dirtiness. You want to feel like you're just on the streets, dealing with all the stuff he dealt with, and just right there in it. And what you felt with instead was just, this is the clean, corporate Jane's Addiction. And they're still not terrible, because it's still Jane's Addiction, and they are still great musicians. You can't begrudge anything on that.
He says commercialized, and that's what I meant by the 83, 84 MTV era. It was everything. When MTV started kicking off, it was great. And then through the 83, 84, 85, before we started hitting the 86, 87 Headbangers Ball and going into all that, where we started getting some really good MTV again. That's what this album felt like at times. And so that's it was I felt very commercialized.
I'd say so. Yeah. And like you said, it was commercialized, too polished. And that's what made the early Jane's Addiction so good, was just that the grime, like you're on the streets right there with it. It was, the same kind of grime that you got from so many LA artists, but they were bringing it in a different way. Cause this was also the hair metal era. They were playing and rising up at the same time as Motley Crue and the same time as Guns N' Roses. And they're just bringing something different. And like you said, Headbangers Ball and 120 Minutes, those were just staples of MTV for me.
That was the best MTV era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched those, but I mean, 120 Minutes was so late on Sunday nights, but I would hit the VCR and record it. And I still have a box of cassettes out in the garage that are all just hours upon hours of 120 minutes.
That's fantastic.
And hours upon hours of MTV unplugs. And it's like, I gotta get those and digitize them. I gotta find a way to get those onto, a hard drive and watch them, because man, so many good videos on those shows. So yeah, that was the heyday. What you saw in the daytime wasn't what was best on MTV. And yeah, that was good stuff. So, all right, let's dig in now that we've given our overall thoughts. What were some of your favorites on this one?
Oh, come on. If you guys know anything about me, you'll know what the #1 song on this album was. Superhero, for me anyways. It was Superhero was a really good song. At least to me, it's the one that was the clickiest on the chorus and some of the written lyrics. But I like Superhero. It was good. Let's see. Just Because was all right. And I would say True Nature were probably my top 3 songs. I didn't like Strays though. I didn't like Strays. I will talk about that in a minute.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, those are my top 3. Superhero is a fun little song, just because I'm a superhero nerd. So the minute I see Superhero pop up, I'm just like, yep, that's my song.
Yes.
So, but
I'll talk my feelings about it a little bit later when we switch categories. So
you're not gonna. Boy, you're breaking my heart every show, Ed. Every show, you're breaking my heart.
I got to do it once, because see, one of your songs is not on my list too, because I had True Nature. I thought it was a solid opener. I just kind of laughed that he starts it off with "Here We Go," but the teeth aren't there. Like when he opens it up, when Stop opens with that "Here We Go," it's like, we're coming, world. We're a friggin' steamroller about to take you down. And this one's like, here we go.
It's
like give you a high five along the way. He's not going to steamroll us. He's going to high five us or fist bump us. And yeah, but still it had a good rhythm. I like the kind of swirling guitars, and it grabbed me. As we talk about openers, and as an opener, it does its job. It hooks you in. It gets you where you want to be. And yeah, I'm sorry, Lark, but when we get to my thoughts on Superhero, I will be in the minority, but that's okay. I've never worried about being in the minority.
When he says "Here you go," I felt like he's that one public speaker that goes, "All right, everybody, let's do this," and everybody in the crowd just like, but it was a good opener. I agree. It was a good opener.
But yeah, the "Here We Go" is very toothless. It does feel, now that you say it, it's very work meeting. Yeah. We have to go to these fucking stupid work meetings every summer, and they pay us, so that's why I go. I'm always down for money, and they're always yelling at us because we're not hyped enough. Like, all right, guys, let's go. Let's bring that energy up. It's like, motherfucker, it's summer. I'm here. That's the energy. That's all you get. And they just keep yelling at you. And one guy, he just kept yelling, I don't hear you clapping loud enough. It's like, because you're not that good. Shut up. But yeah, I digress. That's work meeting energy for sure. So I'm going with that one. The Here We Go is definitely
the
work meeting energy.
I got a couch metaphor.
Yes. Dash brought the couch metaphor today. I got my power washer one, but yeah, Dash is bringing it. Work meeting energy. I'm going to use that for songs now. That's going to be, does this bring work meeting energy? Because that's not good energy.
Not at
work
all.
meeting energy is, it's good when my paycheck comes, but when I got to sit through those grueling 6 or 7 hours of this guy, oh man, he was standing on a chair yelling at us. Come on, you guys. I don't feel the energy from Fontana. And in my mind, I'm thinking, go fuck yourself. Please stop bothering me. It's a miracle I made it out of bed. You can go to hell, sir. But no, I just sat there like, I'm not clapping. Fuck you. I am not clapping. Funny. I will fold my arms. So yes, Dash, that's beautiful. I love it. Work meeting energy. It's real. And it's definitely, that's the Perry Farrell we get on this one, where the other one is the Here We Go, and he might be stealing your wallet as he says it. That's the Perry Farrell energy I want. Not the dude standing on the chair trying to inspire us to be great without us what greatness looks like.
That's fantastic.
So yes. All right. So there we go. That is beautiful. I will use that again. If a song makes me sad inside, it's going to bring work meeting energy. So although I didn't hate True Nature, just the Here We Go was just kind of laughable because it just really lacked the punch that you want from Jane's Addiction. And when you're opening that way, you know, okay, this is a newer version, the kinder, gentler Jane's Addiction that, you know, your mom can listen to and not feel like he's talking about threesomes with his 2 girls in a mountain. It's like, no, he's giving you high fives and talking about, you know, energy somewhere else. So yeah. So yes, enthusiasts are something else, and that was what we got. Oh my gosh, it was never ending, and it was 2 days. I will never forget that one. It was they started filming us and trying to put us on Instagram, and I have this angry scowl on my face on the post on Instagram. And people are like, man, everybody looks so upset and angry. So they removed it from Instagram. And I'm one of the causes because I'm just like, the scowl. So yes, those enthusiasts, doesn't matter where you're working, they're there to pump you up, and they always fail, especially with me. I need to sit in the back next time, so I'm hidden from the dude on his chair. Yeah. All right. So Strays. I did like Strays. I'll have to say. I thought I like the driving bass that started it, but there you feel again the lack of Eric Avery because he is so good. And if this is Eric Avery, it's going to have a lot more punch to it. And that's the sad thing. We never got Eric Avery back on another Jane's Addiction album, but I thought it built. I liked the guitar work from Dave Navarro, but I don't think, honestly, if we go into anything, I would say there's no songs I just love. There's not a song where I'm thinking, I got to play this again. The vinyl was super expensive, and I'm not sad because it would have joined itself in so many of the other vinyls that I never really reach for. So, yeah. And I did like Strays. I thought it was, I knew that one from the radio.
It just felt too safe.
It's it feels safe. And I think what makes the earlier Jane's Addiction albums work so well is that they just feel so timeless. They don't feel 80s. They feel, I mean, obviously 90s, you get that vibe, but they have this timelessness where this one definitely feels 2000s. It feels 2000s, new metal, radio rock. It feels of its era, and that's, you know, an era where I definitely diverted from the mainstream and really focused in on what was going on in indie rock. And that was some of my favorite stuff I discovered in the 2000s, but it wasn't kind of the contemporary Jane's Addiction that would have been played in 2003. So
that's why Jane's, like I said, I can listen to Jane Says now, and it's still just as good. Like, I don't think if, again, I'm not trying to bag on Strays, but I don't know if it would have fit in even. This is definitely a 2010s song.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat. It's a 2010
It's
song,
very
and that's
of
where
its
it will
era.
stay. Yeah, and that's where it would stay. Jane says you could play now, you could, and it would still fit in today's. At least to me, I think Jane says
In 20 years it'll
yeah,
still
yeah, yeah,
sound
yeah.
still sound fresh.
When I'm 70 years old, it'll still sound good.
I mean, granted, I've heard it too many damn times because it's been overplayed, but I still don't touch the dial. Like, I'm not reaching to get rid of it. So I think that's my problem with the album overall is just kind of its time. It's safe, it's polished, it's clean. And I was talking about it, I think it was backstage. I was saying this is the first album that we've covered that I found myself liking less the more I played it. By my third listen, I was finding myself feeling really indifferent toward it. Like, I just don't want to hear these songs anymore. I'm tired of these songs. They're annoying me now. The kind of swirly keyboards that they're building in there and just trying to build these kind of walls of sound. But you want a good wall of sound, go grab 3 Days, go grab Mountain Song. I mean, it's like you build this wall of sound.
3 days in a heartbeat.
Power, yeah. And it's just, this one, it grew off me. And I never have had that happen. Normally, if I have a decent liking toward it the first time, it'll grow more on me. But this one, just kind of, the more I heard it, the less I wanted to hear it again. So, and now my Spotify is going to think I love it because it's going to be, when I play the DJ for the next few weeks, it's going to be, here's something you've been vibing with lately. Jane's Addiction, Strays. Like, shut up, Spotify. But at least it'll stop playing Taylor Swift songs because that's what I got all last week. It's like, here's something you've been listening to a lot. Taylor Swift. Like, damn it, Spotify. You don't know. Leave me alone. But yeah, it'll be Strays for a little bit, and I'll have to skip it until it realizes, no, I don't want to hear this. But yeah, it grew off me, and that rarely happens. So those were my 3. So
very good. That's good.
I don't have more than 3. I wish I did. If you took the old Jane's Addiction album, I would be hard pressed to find 3 songs I didn't love. So I guess that's the difference. Is here, it's 3 songs I like. I don't love them. I think they're fine. They'll play them when they play them live, and I think like Just Because is a nice banger when they play it live. They kind of really rock it out, and it gets a lot harder. But a lot of these songs don't get played in their more current sets. I'm thinking, I got to see something. I'm curious. If I go to Setlist FM, on their most recent tour, were they playing any Stray stuff besides Just Because? I think that one's kind of a staple.
Yeah, that one's the staple because that's the one everybody loves. But I bet they don't. I bet Just Because it's the only one they play from it.
Yeah. So the last time I saw them March 9th, 2023. At the Palladium, and they played from Strays nothing, not one song from Strays. So there you go. There's that shows you where they fall with Strays, because they played literally nothing from Strays. They played a song from Kettle Whistle, but not from Strays.
Wow.
So and I mean, they played 2 nights there, and I think they varied the set lists up on both of those nights. So let's see. On night 1, they played Just Because. So if they play anything from Strays, it's going to be Just Because. And from the newest album, nothing. Although Eric Avery was guitarist for that one, and then they brought in Troy Van Leeuwen from Queens of the Stone Age and from Failure, and he was playing on that tour. So it could be that Eric Avery, since he didn't play on that album, wanted nothing to do with playing those songs live. Just Because is the only one, because that was a pretty big radio hit. It was actually their highest charting single ever. And I think it hit number 5 on the rock Billboard charts. I think I wrote that down. But yeah, it was their Just Because, their highest charting song, remains their highest charting song. And we're talking above Jane Says. It hit higher on the music charts than any of them. So that's why they would play it, because it was their biggest hit. Although, I mean, Jane, if you talk about how many times it's been played overall, Been Caught Stealing and Jane Says have been played millions of times more than Strays ever will be played. And there's a reason for that. But what are some lyrics that stood out for you on this one?
Oh, let's go to, I mean, like I said, superheroes. Let me pull that back up. And not just be, I don't, I can get past the boom. Yeah. But you go to verse 1 and there's, I like the whole entire verse 1. You're smiling by my table. Had to call up everyone that day. Excuse me. A beautiful mind and body. What a happy ending I see. But this line right here just slays me. My mind had been enabled and a memory you out overflowed. I love that line. And again, so it reminds me of Superman, that my mind had been enabled and a memory you overflowed. Like, I feel like that's Superman, Lois Lane. You guys can give me crap all you want, and then I want to be your superhero even if I tumble and fall. I mean, I just think that's cool. Like I said, and the song rocked out. But I just love that lyric and then that line, and then here we go, power trip, and I really like the opening after here we go. So power tripping, from this is from
Is it True Nature?
True Nature, yeah. Power tripping, your luck is switched. So now it's funny. When it's your turn when it's your turn is to laugh, you go poke the running joke. I just thought that was a really cool. Just I vibed with the opening, other than, like you said, the business meeting.
The business meeting. Here we go.
Yeah. And then from Just Because, this is probably, it's a good song, but it's kind of weak lyrically at times.
Yeah.
If I really break into it,
I'd say so.
It's not deep, but if I was you, I'd better watch out. When was the last time you did anything not for me or anyone else? Just because.
Yeah.
I think that's it's not deep, and it's not like award-winning lyrics, but I just thought it was good. I like the opening of the
had
song.
that one too.
Yeah.
I wrote those ones down.
I just like the opening of the song, and Just Because is a good song. So
yeah,
I'm not taking any away. Yeah. So those are mine that I really picked out that I enjoyed.
Yeah. So for my lyrics, I had from True Nature, where the chorus, we're scoring points with God, get no perfect marks.
Yep.
Man, your grades keep falling. How you treat the weak is your true nature calling. So yeah, he's definitely calling out some rich jerk. So that's nice. I had Strays. Whose car am I driving in? You picked up a handful. I can't remember your name. I always seem to get lost, but I'm always finding trouble. Oh, I'm always finding trouble. And the road, it fades away, and the road, it's getting thinner. So it's kind of that aging and, seeing the mortality. And now he's, even older and done even more damage. So I'm sure that mortality is getting closer. But yeah, I laugh when I'm always finding trouble. I'm thinking, you are. You are definitely
I'm just wondering if that's all about Perry anyways, but
yeah. And then I had the same lyrics from Just Because, and then to match the sun, knowing the sun will set our time, and knowing your heart beats close to mine, from where we are when you see our mark, signing our name, all across the colored sky, just in time to match the sun. So you could tell he's definitely deeply in love with his wife, even though he has her dancing on the stage half naked at any of their concerts. She's always there and on the stripper pole that they have customary at their concerts. So yeah, it's nothing like a Jane's Addiction concert. It is something else. But,
I mean, that's definitely a love song. I mean, there's some jealousy in there at times, I think.
Yeah.
Of some things. But yeah, it's definitely a love song to his wife.
Yeah. So you can feel that. And yeah, I like that. But we were talking about it. It was pretty difficult to dig out lyrics that I found really amazing, because they were just kind of all hovering on blah. Yeah, they live. We're bringing them in. The lyrics of the album are the Meggoat. Yeah, it's a Meggoat lyrical album. I mean, even if you like the album itself, it's very kind of lyrically mundane blah stuff. It's nothing terrible. I had to pull some. I'm like, all right, I'm going to say no lyrics, but no, it's definitely, we've talked about some of these albums where, oh wow, you could dig into these lyrics in a class. Not this one. You're not taking this to a college class.
He took some 10th graders poetry assignment and put it to lyric or music. Is what I felt like it's
yeah.
Especially one of the songs I'm getting ready to talk about here in a minute.
Yeah, once we dig into our song. So yeah, Lark was saying it Strays is not their most notable achievement, but I think any achievement, the fact that they actually made a third album was an achievement in itself, because man, did they have rough goings of breakups in their 90s, and then they'd reunite and break up again and reunite and break up again. So the fact that we even got a third album with some decent songs is a small miracle. Even if it's not their best, it's still a Jane's Addiction album, and it's still going to beat the Limp Bizkits and Corns of the world that were going on at that time. Like I said, this was the era that I definitely ducked away from contemporary music and really dug deep into what was going on underground. I mean, you were deployed, so you didn't have that same luxury, because I was just going to all these shows, finding great bands through the openers, and I was just listening to a podcast about Jimmy World, and they were talking about them, and it's like, yes, I found them through the Get Up Kids, through At the Drive-In, through Cursive, and all these bands that I loved in the early 2000s. And yeah, that's where my mind was. It was really just not on Jane's Addiction at all. So when Jane's Addiction was coming back, I had kind of ventured away, because the Limp Bizkits of the world were going to break my psyche. So I was like, I have to escape this, and I can't stand listening to it. So I just kind of dug deep in the underground. So when this album came out, that's where my mentality was. So I wasn't paying Jane's Addiction any mind. I would still play the old stuff. So I think where it lives now, I can see I'm not living in regret for not finding this in real time.
Right.
All right. So it's time for our skip this category. So let me pull up.
Oh, I lost him. Well, we're getting ready to talk about skip this song, I think is where he was going to go. There he is. He's coming back.
Yeah. It's very small. I'm very squinty. I do apologize. So Dash held the fort for me. But which songs are we going to skip? I'll try to get the thumbnail up, but you can go ahead and tell us, what is one of your skip songs?
Oh, man. Okay. Guys, we've been doing this show now for 45 episodes. And if you know anything about me, I love the ballads. I love the acoustic versions of songs. But Everybody's Friend is just, it didn't land with me. It was not good. Mm-hmm. So I'm skipping and again, it is, I want you to know how hard it is for me to even spit the words out that I'm skipping a ballad, and I'm skipping.
That's normally your jam.
Yeah. The ballads and acoustics are usually my jam. I'm skipping Everybody's Friend. And this is where I said, this was like it was pulled from a 10th grader's poetry class, and he failed the assignment. And then Suffer Some was just, I'm going to skip that. Those are the only two I'm skipping. The rest of them I'll listen to, but you nailed it on the head when it comes down to lyrically, just wasn't good lyrically. Or I shouldn't say that. It was good lyrically. It just wasn't great lyrically.
Yeah, I'm pulling up Everybody's Friend, because that was on my skip list. My notes on this one, as I was listening to it in real time, it's a painfully bad ballad. At this point, this album's beginning to lose me. Yep. So I'm ready to just cash in and say I'm done. But for the show's sake, we had to keep battling through, and we've battled through worse, trust me. So this isn't our low point. But yeah, it's losing me. And I grabbed, let me see, where are these lyrics at? It says, all right, so, hey man, where did you go? But I guess I don't know. I gave it my heart. You looked to take it apart. Hey man, what did you do? Walked away. We weren't through. Last time was fake shaking head. Now I think it must be said. It's like, dude.
Tell me that's not a 10th grader.
No, fuck that. You're insulting the 10th grader. We're hitting middle school on that one. That's going back to 8th grade. That's too
Yeah, you're right.
sophisticated
Yeah.
for that's too unsophisticated for a 10th grader. Like I wrote better poetry in 10th grade. I have my grumpy like gothy poetry from 10th grade, and it's better than that. I mean, I'll give myself a little credit. It wasn't good. I'm not here to proclaim myself a poet, but damn, that is rough. And yeah, that's ballad. Oh, the worst. So yeah, I had that one. So what other one would you have on this list of skip songs?
That was just
That was
suffer
it.
some. Yeah,
Okay.
suffer some, and everybody's friend. Those were just my
suffer some. All right.
Yeah.
So here we go. My differing opinion. Superhero.
Ah.
Hated it. Here's what I wrote. It sounds like a bad Red Hot Chili Peppers song. Perry Farrell's vocal delivery sounds like bad Anthony Kiedis. And anything Red Hot Chili Peppers adjacent in my mind is a loss. And I found out it's the theme for Entourage.
Yeah,
and that is like bringing in the douche culture. And I fucking hate that. I've never seen the show, but I hate it. So everything about that song, skip.
I liked it. Yeah, it's for Entourage, but it's a banging song. It's upbeat, and I had to have something. And
yeah, it felt like his vocal delivery felt so Anthony Kiedis. And the two bands that are always skip bands for me, Aerosmith and Red Hot Chili Peppers. I detest them both. And yeah, that when they started sounding like Red Hot Chili Peppers, we go into the next song where I'm just like, this album's going to destroy me. When we get to Wrong Girl, this one's even more Red Hot Chili Peppers than the one before.
that I'll give you.
It's got this kind of this like white boy funk going on, but it's not Flea. So I mean, you got Flea, he can pull off the white boy funk. As much as I don't like the Chili Peppers, I'm here to say Flea is a great bassist. I've seen him play with Atoms for Peace, which is Tom York's side band, and he's got chops. I mean, he's very incredible as a bassist, even if I can't stand Red Hot Chili Peppers. But this one is like poor man's Red Hot Chili Peppers mixed with Been Caught Stealing. So they're ripping themselves off. They're ripping Red Hot Chili Peppers off. And at this point, I'm losing it. Like my stamina for this album is slowly diminishing as I can't go through it. So yeah, Superhero and his delivery of the vocals just it loses me, and I couldn't stand it. And like I said, anything that starts sounding Chili Peppers to me, I'm instantly gonna skip. So yeah, that's
you amaze me every show.
Yes, we bring in fun people. I'm glad you enjoy it. We try to be fun. I try to be as positive as possible, but yeah, those two songs, 2 in a row, and then we get our awful ballad, and I was definitely losing my momentum on this album. I could not pull it in. So
yeah, it just at the end, Faith No More is a better band.
Faith No More is better, and sadly, Faith No More got kind of lumped in as a Red Hot Chili Peppers ripoff band, even though they were doing it for years before. But when they put out the epic song, I mean, I'll say it does sound like a damn bad Chili Peppers song. And then you get like Butthole Surfers that were playing this wild psychedelic rock, and they got lumped in as Beck ripoffs because their one hit sounded like a Beck song. So it's hard when you get bands that have been doing it forever. Then they release a song that sounds like someone else, and they just get
because Faith No More was around before Peppers were, and I mean I never lumped them into the Chili Peppers, but I can see why people would say that. But I agree with you, Lark. Faith No More is a way better band than Chili Peppers.
Yeah,
way better.
I mean, I'm not a Chili Peppers guy. Never have been. I mean, I'll give Under the Bridge as a jam. Can't take that one away. It's funny because every time I think of the video with Anthony Kiedis running, and as I'm running down the street, I'm like Anthony Kiedis. I'm Anthony Kiedising this run. I turned it into sprint mode.
There you go.
So yes, I don't Tom Cruise run. I Anthony Kiedis run.
No, I Tom Cruise run. I Tom Cruise run.
I like to think I could Tom Cruise run, but that guy, fuck, he's like he's got to run in every movie. But if I could run like Tom Cruise, I'd run in every movie too. So why not? But yeah, I always, for some reason, Anthony Kiedis run in that movie is always what I envision myself as I'm running down the street. I'm like, people are going to look at me like I'm Anthony Kiedis right now. But no,
Yeah.
they probably don't. They look at me like some awkward 50-year-old who's tumbling along through the street. But at least I'm getting out there.
Yeah.
But oh man, yeah. So let me see. I don't think I had any other skips. I'm definitely with you on yours, all of them. But yeah, like I said, my only different one is Superhero. As soon as his vocal delivery popped in, I was done. So yeah,
I'm gonna have to erase that from my memory, so when I do go back and listen to it, I don't get.
Yeah. Oh, try it. Now I'm going to ruin it for you. I apologize, because you think of the douche culture that came in with the stupid entourage, and yeah, the whole, Forrest Gump. I like to think of myself as him. I can do the Forrest Gump run at the end where he's just bearded dude slowly running through the streets because he just felt like running. Like, that's where I am. I'm not the best, but I just felt like running. All right, so now we got to pull in where we go on this one. We're going to keep this one or return it to the used bin.
Okay, like I said at the beginning, I it's not great, but I do like the album. So Dave Navarro's riffs really make me keep this album in the first place. Anyways, Dave is good on this album.
Mm-hmm.
The guitar, a lot of the melodies are great. So you get to that acoustic one, then so I'll just skip it. But
Rough.
It's got it's got heart, but I don't think it has the grit.
Yeah.
It just doesn't have the grit. It's got heart at times, and overall, I like it. So I'm going to keep it, just because of my love for Jane's Addiction. So I'll keep it. But it's as Lark kind of said, it's not one of their better albums, or what he it can most notable achievement. Yeah, I'm with you, Lark. It's not one of their most notable achievements, but I'm keeping the album because I like it. I mean, I like certain songs, and I will listen to those songs. And then again, as much as Ed bags on Superhero, it will be on my run. It will be on my run track. And it's got the dash head bob. So if it's got that, it stays and it's good.
Yeah, if it's got anything Chili Peppers adjacent, it's on my skip list. And yeah, I mean, I'm honestly very torn. Do I keep this or return it to the used bin? Because if you're judging it as a Jane's Addiction album, it falls short. If you're judging it based on what was contemporary, not the mainstream, not what was hidden in the underground, but just what was on the radio in 2003, it is better than most of that. So it's superior to a lot of what was happening on the radio. So for that, I'll keep it. I'm going to be giving a begrudging keep, where I'm not going to revisit it often. There's a couple songs I put in my like list, so they'll exist in my Spotify, and there are those that I never want to hear again. And I mean, there's albums that I love that's true of. So I'm going to keep it, just because it's hard. You can't solely judge an album based on what came before it. You have to look at the album on its own accord, and Dave Navarro is strong in there. It's got some great percussion work. I'm a big drums guy. I mean, I love good drum work, and it's got great drum work hidden in there. Do the songs meander a bit? Sure. Where the older Jane's Addiction songs, you could get 3 days. That song could go on for 10 minutes and you don't feel the length. Like, you're just like, no, let you play another 10 minutes. I
don't want 3 days to ever end. When especially when I'm listening to it, you're so into the song.
Yeah. Grateful Dead, that shit. Play it for 25. I don't care.
Yeah. I'm all right with that.
But yeah, with this one, I don't want any of the songs to go on longer. Some of them wear out their welcome in the time that they're in, but I still think it's good enough that I'm not used binning it. I'm not giving it to Lori to destroy. So Lori, you can't have this one, although I didn't buy it anyway because the vinyl was like $100,
$120, I think, something like that.
Yeah, even if it were like, even if it's an album, I think I have great feelings I'm gonna love, I'm not dropping $120 on it unless it's some giant deluxe box set. And I don't need B-sides from this album. I'm good. If this is the A-sides, I don't want to hear what the B-sides are. So even if they put out a big deluxe one, I'm going to take a pass on it and enjoy it on Spotify where I can stream it with my monthly fee. So that is kind of where I land on this one. It's not the worst thing I've heard. It's not the best, but I'm not dumping it. It's not going to Lori's secret weapon of destruction. All right. So
next week.
I got to pull it back up because when I accidentally booted myself out of the room, I pulled off our next week one. But next week we will be for real this time. I got my weeks mixed up, but luckily Dash when we were on Monday, we were on the show talking about Tron. We were on that on Critical Affection, and I talked about Jane's Addiction. So we didn't come in with 2 different albums in mind this week because that would have been rough. But next week, we go into Counting Crows, who I've already said are an abysmal live band, but I do like their albums. So
yeah, their albums are fantastic.
I like their albums. I haven't listened to this one, so that'll be good.
I agree with you on the live stuff. Some bands are just not live material, and they are one of them that are not live material.
Yeah, and that, I mean, it's kind of like them. I'll lump in the Deftones to that category. They are a terrible live band, but I'll rock some White Pony anytime. Yeah. So yeah, weeks are easily mixed up, especially when I was in Florida for 4 days and then staying up till 3 a.m. on other days. So yeah, I definitely wrecked my brain this week, but hey, I'm all for it. If you can't have a little fun and lose sleep, then what's worth living for? Yep. All right. So yeah, 2 bands from San Francisco. So, all right. So Counting Crows. Next week, we will be talking about this album. I don't know if is the vinyl available for a reasonable price on this one.
I have not seen. Let me check.
Yeah, because I know some of the ones we've been doing, the vinyl's kind of out of print and stupidly expensive. Like I said, I think I have a illegally procured Columbia House CD somewhere in the garage hiding, and I'll play that if I have it. Although I don't even know if I could play a CD right now. Stupid PS5 and their bullshit not playing CDs. But yeah, that's the story for another day.
See it. It is, let's see, Recovering the Satellites. Is it on a vinyl? I don't think we'll be able to afford it. $1,376.75.
That's an easy pass for me. Even if you took one of those zeros off, that's an easy pass for me. So
that's collectible. I haven't seen it. That is collectible.
Yeah, I don't care. Unless he's coming and performing in my living room, I'm not paying that much money. And if he's going to perform in my living room, I'm still not going to pay that much money because we've already discussed he's a dog shit live performer. Great songwriter. This next week, we will not have the same kind of difficulty pulling out great lyrics because there's one thing about Counting Crows. Their lyrics are always very noteworthy, worth studying in a university. We've talked about the bands that have that. Perry Farrell on this album definitely doesn't, but when we deal with Counting Crows and Adam, we will definitely have some lyrics to talk about. So I'm looking forward to it next week for real. I think we had talked about it on Taylor Swift, but then I looked at my lineup and realized we were due for Jane's because we did a skip week to do Taylor Swift. And we'll have a skip week coming up again because we'll be covering Wicked with the Critical Affection crew in here, the second half of the soundtrack. So we'll be doing that in November. So until then, have a great week. Friday, tune in. I will be launching at 7 Eastern. I will be launching Floaters live right here on the Madness Network with Lori Calcaterra hosting the show. Fish Lee popping in to promote his cover that he made for it. And Dan Schmidt, the artist behind the book, he'll be joining us. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll be here for an hour on Friday. So I will not have a Saturday show this week. I will have a Friday show. So I'm looking forward to that one and launching Floaters.
I am looking forward to
Wildest Story. And yes, thank you so much, Lark, for joining us today, talking about it. It's nice to have someone else who is I will set the show up now, Pops, and I just won't have the thumbnail. I'm working on that because the art I have to download into my new computer, which is setting up in the other room because this is my last week where I'll be super squinting. But yes, thank you, Woody. Thank you,
Woody.
Lark, for tuning in. We appreciate having you here. Next week, Counting Crows. Tune in if you're a fan. If you're not a fan and you want to trash them, we're okay with that. We do that sometimes. So yeah,
we do that sometimes.
Yeah, so go ahead, tune into some back episodes, and you can see I'm not always nice. Today I was nice-ish, but yeah.
No grumpy Muppets. No grumpy Muppets.
No, I don't think we need a balcony Muppets today, just for a couple of the songs. All right, so Friday, join us live as we launch Floaters, and yeah, I can't wait. And until then, have a great rest of your week.
See you guys.